And here we go on a Saturday evening at Iran Bithorn Stadium. And the first pitch with maybe a little bit extra juice behind it. 96 miles an hour is up and away, and we are underway in San Juan.
Just get comfortable early and go to work.
There are deals, and the 2-2 is over to Nolan Arenado. One up, one down in the first. Right before the start of their second games of the Classic, big-time changes. As a bouncing ball left side finds Daryl Hernandez. Two gone. Fielding grades, fielding and arm strength. Bernal, who yesterday was 2 for 4, skies this one in. A foul ground, long run over there, and able to get there in time to make the grab. Carlos Cortez, and the inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Puerto Rico coming to the rack. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jurado deals a rope to Carlos Cortez, and the leadoff man singles for the home team the same way he did for the visitors in the second inning.
I'll tell you what, Carlos Cortez, he's with the Athletics now, but it's been a long journey for him. 7 years it's taken him, or 6.5 rather, to get to the big leagues. Tore it up last year, 322 batting average, over 1,000 OPS.
There is a pitch clock in the Korea Baseball Organization, the KBO, where he pitches. It's a long run. This ball trailing down the right field line, and at the last second, the catch made out in right. And just happening to notice that that is a change in right field for Panama. As, no, check that, never mind. All set, everybody's good. I have the early lineup. Goes after the 2-1, bounces it to second. Arauz will go to the bag there for 1, and the return throw from Caballero is in time to get Rosario. Nicely spun at the bag. The double play ends things in the second. We'll go to the third, scoreless.
There he is.
Edgar Martinez, Christian Bethencourt, the leadoff man for Panama, has gone on strikes.
And you can see Rivera starting to get nice and settled. All those jitters, I'm sure they've been built up probably yesterday and today. Thinking about this game, now all of a sudden you can settle in. Is outside of the typical, the data behind it, or some of the 5 different voices.
Just had a pitch timer violation on the hitter, Luis Castillo. So that goes as a strikeout for Rivera. Came on a 2-strike count.
How about that?
But the guys that he can lean on with his coaching staff, it is incredible. 3-2, waved at and missed. Caballero is gone. And Rivera, in an unorthodox way, strikes out the side here in the third. We'll go to the bottom of 3 with no score at San Juan. Not many better guys to learn from.
Sometimes I think too, and when we've talked about,
shot right field side, that's a base hit. Emmanuel Rivera leads off with extra bases as he digs around first, heads for second, and he's in there sliding safely with a leadoff double.
Now Emmanuel Rivera gets his pitch down and away. So that's that ball. Trickles past the first baseman. Now all of a sudden Puerto Rico's in business. But just to finish off that thought about Yadi, sometimes I think we've talked about, at some point he's going to be managing in the big leagues, right? I mean, everything points towards that happening, but sometimes
trying to hold up there and unable to do so. He's gone on strikes for the first out of the third inning.
He's a huge out for Jurado in this Panamanian team. You have a situation with Christian Vasquez down the bottom of the lineup. Not known for his offense of late, that's for sure. Tries to lay a bunt down, gets the 2 strikes.
Batting title. Affiliated ball. They'll go down swinging here. So back-to-back Ks after the leadoff double, and Jurado 1 out away from getting out of it in the third.
Well, he's had to make some big pitches these last couple of innings. Obviously, with Vasquez helping him out, not getting that bunt down. I think this is the difference, too. We talked about his time in the big leagues with the Texas Rangers and then getting traded over to the Mets.
Panama national team. 1-0 pitch, lifted in the air to center field. Ramos has a beat on it immediately, staring high into the San Juan sky, there to put it away and retire the side. The leadoff damage does no damage Leadoff double does no damage. We'll go to the fourth, all scoreless. To the bottom of the fourth inning, night number 2 of the 2026 World Baseball Classic. First pitch swinging, a drive out to right field off the bat of Elliot Ramos, and at the wall, Luis Castillo is there to make the grab. You saw the highlights from that win for Panama over Chinese Taipei in 2023. Luis Castillo collided with Jose Ramos in a highlight reel grab on the warning track at Taichung Intercontinental Baseball Stadium. Here, just collides with the padded wall, but man, great job tracking that one down, 1 out in the fourth.
Nice grab. You see Elliot Ramos nearly went right center, deep off a breaking ball, this time to right field. Sat down with Chaim Bloom and said, look, these are some of the teams I'm interested in.
Nolan with a drive. Deep out to right. Back on this one goes Castillo, and an almost carbon copy catch from a moment ago. Castillo hauls that one in. 2 gone in the fourth.
He is owning this right field wall right now. It's a great grab too. Remember, we saw some of the issues Willie Castro had with this wind.
Here's the 2-2 pitch to Carlos Cortez, and a rope over to first. Nice pick on a hop by Bethancourt. And Ariel Jurado hustling to the bag is there for the final out. And we are through 4, scoreless, going to the 5th. And being able to pitch in an environment like this and feed off of this energy. The 2-1 is inside. Oh, that actually got Arroz in the left arm, so he is aboard with a hit by pitch. And Yadier Molina asking for Laz Diaz to wait to confirm that that was in fact a hit batsman. And I'll be honest, on that replay, I'm not sure it was.
Well, they're going to play on here, but
the 2023 Classic in 3 games, also the 2017 pitched in the semifinal. Serves one up to Christian Bethancourt, who blasts one out to center field. This one is over the head of Torres and off the wall. Rounding third base, here comes Arauz. He will score as the ball's fumbled in the outfield. Bethancourt racing for third, and he's in there safely, and Panama has the lead 1-0 here in the top half of the 5th.
Well, Bethancourt playing over at first base. We've seen him behind the dish, plenty in the big leagues, and he was off to that slow start in 2023, Tyler, that we watched over in Taiwan. The man comes up big here against a new pitcher, and you see Torres, a little bit of a break here. First of all, run was scored easy, but able to let Bethancourt get into third base with just a 1 out.
And tuned in as this ball is roped down the right field line. This is trouble in extra bases as it touches down off the bat of Castillo. In easily, and it's Bethancourt, a triple, then a double, and Panama's offense has arrived here in the 5th.
I'll tell you what, all of a sudden they had a tough lefty yesterday, Levan Moinella. They had Eduardo Rivera, who's blowing 96 at the top of the strike zone, punching tickets, 5 strikeouts. Now all of a sudden, they get a weak link in this bullpen. Lopez leaving balls out over the middle of the plate. And this Team Panama offense all of a sudden has gotten real comfortable, some good swings off, and they're in business here in the 5th inning.
Their last 3 hitters have combined to outscore this entire team's previous 13 innings. So that did go as a double and an error as a grounder out to short, and they've got the lead runner hung up. So Castillo in the middle of the rundown is tagged out, but what base running by Caballero behind him to dive in safely at second base. On a routine grounder, Caballero finds himself in scoring position now, and those are the types of plays that steal your runs.
Right, and you can see right here, look, Castillo's in a position where he has to get into a rundown so Caballero has the time to get to second base. So Caballero's looking at that going, all right, he's going to hold up this rundown. I'm going to come around first, and look at him. The whole way around, he's watching, and he's thinking, all right, I'm going to get into second base. But man, that was dicey. He dominated last year, 1.8 ERA.
Here, he plunks Edmundo Sosa.
And Puerto Rico just trying to figure it out with this bullpen. Panama's loving the fact they got that lefty out there. We've said this a few times now. You got Levan Moinella that breaking ball, that fastball combination you have to deal with yesterday on day one. You see Armando Sosa just kind of lean into this, put that elbow guard into it.
Panama threatening with 2 already home, and a bouncer over to first. Rivera takes it to the bag and snuffs out the remainder of the 5th. But 2 runs home for Panama, and tonight's visitors are onto the board first. A 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of 5 in San Juan.
This year just signed a deal with the Braves.
And a rope to right field, a leadoff base hit here in the bottom of the 6th. Torres singles and sends it back to the top of the order.
Tell you what, Torres has seen plenty of is that high velo, 97, top of the strike zone. It's sitting dead red, drives that ball into right field.
Over there in that first base dugout after his tough outing, but his offense is trying to come to the rescue here in the 6th. Back-to-back singles get things started. Castro to first, Torres to second, Ramos to the plate with nobody out.
You could see this coming, right? Willie Castro, he was doing better and better. He was improving on the contact with that slider that was down and in. And you can see Bruno sort of showing his glove at the top of the strike zone in case that Willie Castro may have been tipped off on what pitch was coming. The Javi Guerra kept going to that slider. He went to the wall too many times. When you have a hitter.
1-2 pitch. And it got Ramos. And that will give him first base and load him up. And Panama wants to take a look at this. Las Diaz did not immediately signal that that was a hit by pitch.
I think you got to challenge this regardless.
Yeah.
Man. Look, I know we don't get as many looks as what you see in the big leagues, but you're hoping that maybe there's a look where it's off the knob of the bat. Oh, that looks like it's off the hand even from our angle.
Yeah, and the reaction from Ramos certainly would seem to suggest that too. Man, bad time for a hit by pitch for Javi Guerra. As the bases are loaded now. Oof. Guerra deals. Arenado, fly ball in the air to center. Ramos is there. Tagging at third is Torres, and he will score the first run of the night for the home team. It's 2-1.
I tell you what, look, you get that first run across with the crowd, something to get crazy about there. Everyone's on their feet. I'll tell you what, if you're Nolan Arenado with that pitch, that was a slider middle of the plate. And you can tell his reaction too, right? He got it deep enough in center field, but he knew that, man, that's a pitch that he could absolutely drive well over the center fielder's head.
400 average. They're trying to deliver the tying run or more here. And instead, a bouncer to second, could be 2. To the bag for 1, Caballero to first, 4-6-3, and Hernandez does the job to get out of the 6th inning. Terrific work by Kenny Hernandez as Panama limits Puerto Rico to 1. But we got a 1-run ball game going to the 7th. That ended that 2-run charge for his team, and he's 0 for 4 tonight, swinging and missing here.
That split from Quinones is nasty. He's gotten a couple punch outs already with that. Floats through the strike zone.
3-2. Got it. 4 strikeouts now in an inning and 2/3 for Luis Quinones.
You look at that fastball, it's low 90s, but it plays up. Why? Because in the back of your mind, you're thinking about that split. We've seen a few of them. So you stand there on the on-deck circle, you know it's coming at some point. You have to choose one. You got to eliminate a pitch.
It's on the way. Got it. 5 strikeouts in 2 innings. Brilliance from Luis Quinones.
Got the out. Another 3-2 count.
Fly ball into right. This one should be more playable for Castillo. Another long run, but shaded toward the line. He gets there in foul ground for the first out of the bottom of the 9th. Here it comes. And ball 4 puts the tying run on in the 9th. Machete waiting. 2-2. Right side, that's through, a base hit. Rounding at second. Here goes Rosario for third, and he's in there safely. The tying run, 1 station away in the 9th.
You see Martin Maldonado just inside out in that ball. He's trying to knock one up the middle on the ground this time. Just enough to sneak through that hole. And I'll tell you right now, the game starts to speed up on you. Puerto Rico need to take advantage.
1-1. Into right. Shallow. Castillo there. Tagging at third. Rosario bluffs and holds. And rightfully so. A perfect peg from Castillo. And there's 2 away with runners at the corners for Matthew Lugo.
Got a good pitch to hit. Look at Castillo. Perfect throw through the cut. Woo. I mean, you are walking the tightrope right now if you're Maldonado.
Maldonado deals. And ball 4 loads him up and sends it back to the top of the order, and Willie Castro.
Fatigue right now from Maldonado.
And the 3-0 pitch is nowhere close, and we're all tied up in the 9th. And that's going to be it for Alberto Maldonado.
I'll tell you what, you see Eddie Rosario, that at-bat he had, right? He's been so aggressive the first couple of days. It's left on left. He's looking for something that he can drive, but he was so patient. He got to 3-2, and he drew that walk. That kicked everything off, and Maldonado is absolutely cooked.
The bases are loaded, and Severino Gonzalez is onto the pitcher's mound, and his first offering to Elliot Ramos is bounced to third, and we are headed to extras. First pitch swinging after his team tied it in the bottom of the 9th. Ramos grounds out, and we go to the 10th, all even at 2. Extra innings rules are in effect here in the Classic. So Christian Bethancourt is out at second base to start extras. And the bunt is down from Castillo. And a tough play as the throw to first is dug out. Holy smokes! Wow. What a play by Willie Castro. That is not a first baseman. Covering the bag, and he makes the backhanded pick for the first out.
This is amazing. Look, he's trying to rush a little bit. He tried to barehand it. Didn't have time to set his feet. I'm telling you, recovered nicely. Nice little pick right there from Willie Castro.
The spotter ready. And a flare to center field, and Panama's back in front. An RBI single for Jose Caballero. It's a 3-2 lead for the visitors.
Wow. We've seen some good at-bats lately from both of these teams, and Jose Caballero has that ability to slow the game down. It doesn't really speed up on him. Look at this. Gets that bat head through. He is fired up. That's a tough pitch again, too, especially with the open base. You know you're going to get some sort of secondary pitch. Stays on it.
Espada deals the 0-2. Caballero's off with a throw down to second base. Is in time? No! The ball slips away from Castro, and the stolen base puts Caballero in scoring position. What a throw by Vasquez.
Yeah, this is a good throw. I tell you what, the Jose Caballero had a nice jump. Tough pitch to throw on. We talked about Castro trapping that ball down at first base and able to hold on to it.
The second game to go to extras in the Classic for each of these teams in their WBC histories. As Espada deals, and a ground ball left side. Picked on the backhand, long throw and a good dig over at first by Melendez, 2 gone.
I'll tell you what, now I know he's down 2 strikes, but if they could get that second run across Panama, man, they're going to be, it takes the bunt away from Puerto Rico in that in the bottom of their inning in the 10th. Slider below the strike zone.
To right field, this ball's down for a base hit. Cortez in to get it. Throw to the plate is a strike in time to cut down Caballero and keep it as a one-run game going to the bottom of the 10th. The World Baseball Classic. Expect everything. 3-2 our score. Puerto Rico to the bat rack for the bottom of the 10th when we return.
Just a 1-run.
Luis Vasquez will lead things off. Elliot Ramos out at second, and the bunt is down, and it is a good one left side, and trouble for Gonzalez, who throws it to first. Way too late to get Vasquez. Nobody out. Winning run aboard. Vasquez does the job.
Wow, again, you talk about pressing. You had all kinds of time right here. You just have to set your feet. And you look towards third base. I don't know why, but this is where you've got to communicate. We talked about the defense on the Puerto Rican side. This is something where these infielders have to be yelling, 1-1-1.
Their second consecutive trip to the championship game of this event, in fact. Cortez, ground ball out to second. This will get the game tied, but the throw to first makes it a double play, and the bases are cleared, but we're all leaving at 3 apiece. Puerto Rico's taking a look at it, and they will request the review.
Yeah, we talked about the game speeding up. I said that Jose Caballero, he's one of those guys who can slow the game down and get one more look maybe at this if they're going to challenge it. A nice play, sets his feet on that bag, does it himself. This would be a massive double play if the call stands.
Close, but it looks like the toe is on the bag there.
Well, see, Yadi came out to make sure they knew what they were going to be reviewing right here. Let's have a look at first. If you look at that foot, maybe off the bag, back and forth.
The call from Laz Diaz here. The double play is upheld. Laz Diaz not making many friends tonight here in San Juan, but I think they got the call right on review, so the bases are cleared on the biggest stage in international baseball. And the 1-2 crushed left field line deep. Puerto Rico, increíble! In 20 years of the World Baseball Classic, we had never had a walk-off home run. And on this day, we've had 2. Ozzy Albies this afternoon for the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And Darryl Hernandez tonight for the home team in San Juan. And Puerto Rico is 2-0. What an absolutely indescribable night for Puerto Rico in the 19,000 here. Hernandez knew he got it, and he lifts his team to a second consecutive win to open Pool A. There is no one on planet Earth higher than that guy right now. The 24-year-old walks it off and unleashes jubilation at Iran Bitorn Stadium. The devastation for Severino Gonzalez, who got that seemingly pivotal double play ball off the bat of Carlos Cortez, but then served up that.
And that was a pitch, middle in. He just unleashed on that pitch. And you think about all that pressure, that pressing they were doing earlier on in this game, just a couple innings ago. Pressure cooker they were in. Just exploded here in the 10th inning. Wow, what a moment.
And Ryan, think about this. If you are not missing the big three, Javier Baez, Carlos Correa, and Francisco Lindor, you don't even...